Welcome all, my dear friends. Let us continue our journey in the world of IPR by picking a rule of the Patents Rules 2003 as amended by Amendment Rules 2021. Okay, so let us proceed. Okay, actually, this slide is not new for you because we have already discussed a number of slides like this in my first lecture, that is lecture 1, where I have tried to establish a relationship between the sections, rules and forms. So this slide is one of them, and this slide focuses on form 2 with keeping a linkage between section 10 and rule 13. Okay, literally if we see the name of the title, or literally when we see the titles, form 2 has the title provisional or complete specification, form 10 has the title contents of specifications, and rule 13 has the title specifications. So from the wordings only you can very well establish the linkage between these three. Okay, and today here in this lecture we will individually describe rule 13, and we will try to go to a deeper level so that the whole rule 13 will be uh, more clear. Fine. Okay, so rule 13 comes from chapter 2. That the chapter 2 is application for patents. Okay, and here Rule 13 has the title specifications. Fine. So you can just remember this title of Rule 13 is specifications, and the name of the chapter from where this Rule 13 comes, this is application for patents. So you can correlate this too. Next we'll go to as we will go deeper into rule 13, we will discuss about rule 13 which comes from the patents rules 2003 as amended by amendment rules 2021. Okay, so here rule 13 has 8 sub rules, and uh, I have written some I have written some keywords here actually to so that it will be more easier for us to memorize the things. That means when we utter a particular keyword, automatically we can recall that yes, this keyword comes from this sub rule of that particular rule, right? So rule 13 has 8 sub rules, and keyword for subrule 1, just a minute, keyword for subrule 1 is specification, for subrule 2 it is divisional application, for subrule 3 it is patent of edition, for subrule 4 it is drawings, for subrule 5 it is irrelevant, for subrule 6 this is declaration, for subrule 7 this is abstract, and for subrule 8 this is period. Again I am telling that these keywords I have taken from the sub rules as per my intellect, and as I thought that by picking these keywords it will be easier for us to understand, I have picked up this. If you can try, it is very well and good. Fine, so you can remember in your own way. Okay friends. Okay, so let us proceed to sub rule 1 in detail. Subrule 1 says every specification, whether provisional or complete, shall be made in form 2. Okay, so here also you can see the linkage. So form 2 is, we know the title of form 2 is provisional or complete specification. Fine. And here as it is linked with section 10, I have also mentioned here section 10 is contents of specifications. Fine. Subrule 2 says a specification in respect of a divisional application under section 16 shall contain specific reference to the number of the original application from which the divisional application is made. Okay, so what is section 16? This is power of controller to make orders respecting division of application. Actually friends, divisional applications is a separate topic In a separate lecture, we will discuss in detail about this. But now, just remember one thing, that both divisional application and patent of edition both are dependent on the original application. Okay, so here subrule 2 says a specification in respect of a divisional application. Okay, as per section 16, where divisional applications are mentioned, there are some specifications, right? So the specification of a divisional application itself contain a specific reference to the number of the original application. That means to the patent application number of the original application from which the divisional application is made. As we know that divisional application is always dependent upon the original application. That's why in the specification part of a divisional application, a reference should be made to the patent application number of the original application. Fine? Okay. Now let us proceed to subrule 3. Next is subrule 3. A specification in respect of a patent of edition under section 54 shall contain a specific reference to the number of the main patent or the application for the main patent as the case may be, and a definite statement that the invention comprises an improvement in or a modification of the invention claimed in the specification of the main patent granted or applied for. Okay, so a subrule dealt with divisional application. A subrule 2 dealt with divisional application. Here subrule 3 deals with patent of edition, and we know both patent of edition and divisional application are totally dependent on the main application. So whether the main application is in the application stage or in the granted stage, in both the cases, it is what it is written here. Just take a look. A specification in respect of a patent of edition as per section 54, that actually we have already discussed, shall contain a specific reference. Okay, it will contain a specific reference to the patent number of the main patent. Okay, either it is in the granted stage, then it will be called the patent, or if it is in the application stage, it will be named as the application for the main patent. Okay, as the case may be, that's why it is written like this. And a definite statement that the invention comprises an improvement in or a modification of the invention claimed in the specification of the main patent granted or applied for. That means a statement should be there which indicates the modification or improvement of the invention. And as we have already discussed in detail section 54, it will not be anyway difficult for you to understand this fact. Okay. Here I have just written for reference, section 54 is patents of edition. Fine. So we proceed. Yeah. We'll proceed to subrule 4. Where the invention requires explanation through drawings, such drawings shall be prepared in accordance with the provisions of Rule 15 and shall be supplied with and referred to in detail in the specification, including the claims, where the features illustrated in the drawings shall be followed by the respective reference signs in parentheses. Okay, provided that in case of a complete specification, if the applicant desires to adopt the drawings filed with the provisional application as the drawings or part of the drawings for the complete specification, it shall be sufficient to refer to them in the complete specification as those left or filed with the provisional application. Fine. So here you just remember subrule 4 deals with drawings. Okay. Sometimes drawings are needed to explain the invention in a better way. Fine. So this is a condition, this is a situation where the invention requires explanation through drawings. Such drawings will be prepared as per the provisions of Rule 15, because Rule 15 deals with drawings. Okay, you can refer it in the barrect. and shall be supplied with and referred to in detail in the specification, including the claims, where the features illustrated in the drawings shall be followed by the respective references signs in parenthesis. By using parenthesis, okay, by using parenthesis, the drawings should be referred in a drawing should be referred in the we can say in the claims part. Fine. So that, and what is the condition? Provided that in case of a complete specification, if the applicant desires to adopt the drawings filed in the provisional specification. Okay, because as all of us know that provisional specification is applied first, and after that only we go for the complete specification. And if we have already we have given all the drawings part in the provisional specification or provisional application only, then no need to do it then no need to do the repetition of showing the drawings in the complete specification. What we can do, we can just refer to them in the complete specification. Okay, because in a detailed manner all the drawings are already already all the drawings are we can say already all the, just a minute, just a second friend. Oh, as all the drawings with the features are illustrated already in the provisional part, then there is no need to do the task again, right? So that's why it is just sufficient to refer to them in the complete specification. Fine. Okay, let us proceed to Subrule 5. Irrelevant or other matter not necessity in the opinion of the controller for elucidation of the invention shall be excluded from the title, description, claims and drawings. That means if the controller decides that some matters are not necessary or some are not relevant, okay, for elucidation of the invention, then if the controller thinks so, then those things will be excluded from the title, from the description, from the claims and the drawings part as well. Okay, it totally depends upon the opinion of the controller. Fine. Subrule 6 says, except in the case of an application other than a convention application or an application filed under the Patent Cooperation Treaty designating India, which is accompanied by a complete specification, a declaration as to the inventorship of the invention shall be filed in Form 5 with the complete specification or at any time before the expiration of 1 month from the date of filing of the complete specification, as the controller may allow on an application made in Form 4. And the explanation is, for the purposes of this rule, the date of filing of the complete specification with respect to an application corresponding to an international application in which India is designated shall be reckoned from the actual date on which the corresponding application is filed in India. Okay, so here the related section is section 10, contents of specifications. Related forms are form 5, that is declaration as to inventorship, and form 4 is for request for extension of time. Fine. So we can say here the applicant has to furnish a declaration as to the inventorship as according to form 5 along with the complete specification before the expiry of 1 month from the date of filing of the complete specification as per the timeline provided by the controller on an application form made via form 4, because we know that form 4 is about request for extension of time. That means whenever the applicant needs some extension of time, he must request the same via form 4, and the declaration to inventorship should be applied via form 5. Okay. So we can say inventorship declaration form or inventorship declaration is not required in case of an application other than a convention application or an application filed under the PCT designating India, which is accompanied by a complete specification. That means here you can read from this, that means except in the case of an application other than a convention application or an application filed under the PCT designating India, which is accompanied by a complete specification. That means accepting this thing, a declaration to the inventorship is required. Fine. So we can say for the purposes of this rule, the date of filing of the complete specification with respect to an application corresponding to an international application where India is designated shall be calculated from the actual date on which the corresponding application is filed in India. Okay, so sub rule 6 is completed. Let's proceed to sub rule 7. Sub rule 7. Sub rule 7 says the abstract is specified under section 10 subsection 4 and clause D accompanying the specification shall commence with the title of the invention. The title of the invention shall disclose the specific features of the invention normally in not more than 15 words. That means the limit is 15 words. In 15 words only the title can be expressed. Okay. So here the main thing is that the abstract is per section 10, this particular subsection N clause accompanying the specification shall commence or shall start with the title of the invention. That means the abstract will start with the invention and the title of the invention, it will disclose the specific features of the invention and that too within 15 words only. Right? Next, clause B. The abstract shall contain a concise summary of the matter contained in the specification and summary shall indicate clearly the technical field to which the invention belongs, the technical advancement of the invention as compared to the existing knowledge and the principal use of the invention excluding any speculative use, and where necessary the abstract shall contain the chemical formula which characterizes the invention. Fine. So we can say that the summary must clearly enable the invention. Okay, it should clearly express a technical field of the invention, technical problem to which the invention relates, that means the technical advancement, and principal uses of the invention and the solution to the problem which the invention offers to solve. Fine. Okay. Next we'll go to clause C. The abstract may not contain more than 150 words. That means the limit to the abstract is 150 words. Okay, just remember this thing, that limit to a title is 15 words and limit to an abstract is 150 words. That means 10 times more than the limit of the title. Fine. Next, clause D. If the specification contains any drawing, the applicant shall indicate on the abstract the figure or exceptionally the figures of the drawings which may accompany the abstract when published. Each main feature mentioned in the abstract and illustrated by a drawing shall be followed by the reference sign used in that drawing. Okay, so what we can say, that the abstract must clearly contain the chemical formula relating to the invention. The applicant must clearly indicate the figures of the diagram or drawing for reference furnished along with the publication of the abstract. Okay. Next. Clause E says the abstract shall be so drafted that it constitutes an efficient instrument for the purposes of searching in the particular technical field, in particular by making it possible to assess whether there is a need to consult the specification itself. Fine. That means we can say on perusal of the abstract, One must be able to conduct a comprehensive search for the invention in the particular technical field and to make an assessment call regarding the need to have recourse to the specification document. Next one is sub-rule 8. The period within which reference to the deposit shall be made in the specification under section 10 subsection 4 and clause 2 with bit A shall be 3 months, or we can call it a subclause as well, shall be 3 months from the date of filing of the application. This acronym actually, this is totally my way of writing. So DOF is date of filing. You can take it like this. Provided that in case of a request for publication under Rule 24A, such reference shall be made on or before the date of filing of such request. Okay. So where Rule 24A is request for publication. So we can say the specification must contain a reference to the deposit to be made within 3 months from the date of filing of the application under section 10 subsection 4 clause 2 and subclause A. Fine. So okay friends, this way all the sub rules, all the 8 sub rules of rule 13 are completed. So please go through my video, please refer the Barrett as well, and the reference taken here is the Patents Rules 2003 as amended by Amendment Rules 2021. This is the updated, the latest one actually. Okay, so please go through it. So do you like it? Okay, please share your views and your comments, your compliments, all are welcome. Okay friends, thank you all. Stay safe, stay blessed. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.